So, it has been, what? Well over a year. Look how much longer my hair is. There is going to be a massive difference between how I look now and the footage from July of 2021. I was going to post this ages ago, however, burnout got me pretty good and it just never ended up getting posted, or the voiceover. So here it is. Enjoy this little behind the scenes of my studio. There's 2 intros, so do you like my new painting? I love her dearly. Anyway, I love you. Mwah. Enjoy the video. Good morning! Welcome to my little vlog-ish thing. Come paint with me, just hang out in my studio. I just finished this beautiful girl, Into Paradise. I haven't posted the finished piece anywhere except my website, and so many of you guys have already like swarmed to the prints. I was just like, okay, as you can see from the title of this video, today I'm going to be discussing a bit of a year of growth, overcoming burnout, and I wanted to share with you some of the things that have been on a lot of artists' minds lately, and it's something that stopped me from posting this video, and a bit of a looming shadow, if you will, over the art community, and that is burnout and creative block. My theory is that burnout and creative block are sisters and the best of buddies. They certainly feel similar. I mean, how often have we mistaken one for the other throughout our practice? More importantly, what are they trying to offer us? In Stephen Pressfield's The War of Art, they explore resistance as rearing its gritty snout, trying to stop us from doing what we know is our true calling. That very same resistance tried to stop me from making this video at all. So how do we recognize resistance in our lives, and how do we combat it? Part 1. Are you starting to feel overwhelmed? Burnout and creative blocks can be so helpful in showing you how far you can be stretched, how many projects you can take on, and what you're capable of. Knowing our breaking point can actually be a really valuable part of becoming a professional artist. There's an old adage that goes, when you're starting out, say yes to everything, and when you want to grow, learn to say no. There are only so many things that we can realistically accomplish, so why do we want to push the limits of our capabilities? And for what? Do we want validation? Are we looking to just prove something to ourselves, our friends, old peers, whatever it may be? But we don't have to be working 24/7. In fact, it actually works towards our detriment if we do. Saying yes to a lot of opportunities can be fantastic, don't get me wrong, but when it starts to take a toll on the energy that you have for things in the rest of your life, like taking care of yourself, nourishing your mind and your body, and even when it comes to creating artwork, a lot of professional artists will attest to they actually lose time to paint when it becomes their full-time job, because it's not just making art, it's marketing, it's business. Those things are fantastic, but it just depends on where you want to to spend your energy. But overwhelm can show up in our lives in so many different ways. It could be so much as posting content, you've got a new collection launching, you're doing prints for the first time, whatever it may be. When you start to feel overwhelm bubbling underneath the surface, it is okay to take a step back. It doesn't mean that you don't love what you do less. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person or a bad artist. It means you're human. It means you need a rest. I just think that it's something pretty important for us to recognize. Reframe the words you speak and the way that you treat yourself. Our words and energy have power. It is mighty to say the very least. Did you know that plants react to words? If you repeat like, stupid weed, why won't you behave and grow like you're supposed to? Your plants will wilt and wither in front of your eyes. But if you greet them with a warm smile and say, come on little one, you can do it, you're so beautiful, look at you giving your best, they will flourish and thrive. Likewise, if you repeat how overwhelmed you are all of the time, of course you're going to feel it more deeply. Getting around this can be as simple as being thoughtful with the way you talk about yourself. You're not overwhelmed. You're on a path to becoming your better self, and you need to leave some things behind in order to nourish yourself. Moving on to part 2, the main part, if you will, perfectionism. This is something that a lot of us struggle with. Like literally one click on YouTube as an artist will show you that we all face it in one degree or another. Scores of brilliant artists across the globe, all facing this inward battle. The ever-looming thought of, am I good enough? Is this worth posting? This isn't perfect. Why am I trying anyway? The thing is, humans aren't perfect. We're inherently imperfect beings. And if art is a reflection of us, a human, and sharing our humanity, of course it doesn't want to be perfect. While you think about that for a moment, I'm going to interrupt the regular schedule programming for a little bit of a packaging video of obsidian. I'm just about to package up Obsidian. She's leaving the studio tomorrow. It's always so like, whenever they leave. I'm just about to sign the certificate of authenticity. I get a bunch of questions about this. I like to have my vector signature at the top and then say what it is, like this certifies that it's an original painting. And yeah, just a copyright disclaimer as well. And then I sign it and add the date, so yeah. I'm gonna pick out a little print to go in with their order. Yeah, I just love to add little extras and I think that it's just such a beautiful thing to do. Like, you know, you always want a little extra something. Hope you don't mind watching her get packaged. A lot of it's pretty self-explanatory, just signing the certificates, adding a little special something, and then I'm wiring the back of another painting. You can see the process on how I do that, and I just like to make sure that it's really neat and tidy at the back, so it just looks nice and tidy and professional, so yeah. Anyway, back to our talk on perfectionism. The idea of perfect is a bit of an illusion. Again, our art doesn't want to be perfect. If so many of us are struggling with it, so many artists all over the world, would it not make sense that art in general isn't really wanting perfect? It wants beauty, but it wants ugliness. It wants the imperfect. It wants scratchy, a little bit rough at the edges. That's where we feel seen. And that's why a lot of people are drawn to your artwork in the first place. If we didn't experience sadness, we wouldn't truly know what happiness was. I've found that within my practice, perfectionism often makes my work feel stale, uninspired, or even boring. It pulls us away from the moment and stops us from having fun, experimenting, and learning. I also just finished this painting. I did manage to record a little bit of the process of this painting. I didn't do all of it because I almost gave up on the piece. I don't know why. It's just an artist thing. I don't know. Sometimes we just get so in our head, you know, it's supposed to look a certain way and you want it to be perfect, but chasing after perfection all the time like really hinders your work and your art actually becoming like transcendent and something that's bigger than you and bigger than what your vision is for the piece. So just like let it be its own thing. I think that that's a really beautiful, beautiful way of looking at art. So how do we rediscover that joy and wonder after experiencing burnout, perfectionism, and overwhelm? Revisit an old hobby, pick up a new one, keep a gratitude journal, have a workout routine that releases your stress and tension. Other than art, when you were a kid, what did you do that was just for you? Not because it brought you praise, but instead just pure joy. Heal yourself and nourish your body. Heal some generational trauma if you're feeling up to it. But take care of your inner child, because that's where the joy and the beauty of art comes from.